Before the wing, before the movies, before the Charger became one of the most recognizable muscle cars ever built, there was this. Today, we're taking a look at the very first Dodge Charger ever built, the 1966 Dodge Charger, told through this Matchbox Diecast. My name's Troy, and welcome back to the channel. If you like cool cars and vehicles that tell a story, you're in the right place. Today, we're taking a look at one of the most important cars Dodge ever produced, the 1966 Dodge Charger, and why it still matters nearly 60 years later. Here's the story I came up with on this iconic car. When most people hear the name Dodge Charger, they picture roaring V8s, drag strips, tire smoke, and aggressive styling. But the very first Charger wasn't built just to dominate the quarter mile. It was built to be different. In the mid-1960s, Dodge had horsepower, but it didn't yet have a clear identity. Ford had the Mustang, Pontiac had the GTO. Dodge wanted something bold, refined, futuristic, and powerful, all at the same time. Interestingly, the name Charger wasn't brand new in 1966. Dodge had already used the name on a 1964 Charger concept, a sleek showpiece designed to represent energy, motion, and speed. When Dodge revived the Charger name for production, they wanted it to feel electric, like something was always building, always charging forward. The 1966 Dodge Charger was built on Chrysler's B-body platform, shared with the Dodge Coronet, but everything about it felt more premium. The most striking feature was the fastback roofline. That long, sloping rear glass gave the Charger a futuristic look that stood out immediately in 1966. Dodge wanted this car to look fast even when it was parked. The fastback design wasn't just about looks. Dodge engineers believed it would improve high-speed stability on the highway, something that mattered in an era when America was falling in love with long road trips. But that massive rear glass created a problem most people don't talk about: heat. On sunny days, the interior could turn into a greenhouse. To counter this, Dodge offered air conditioning more commonly on Chargers than on many other performance cars of the time, a subtle nod to the Charger's luxury intentions. One of the Charger's most distinctive features was its hidden headlights. They weren't electric. They were vacuum operated, using engine vacuum to open and close the headlight doors. It was a clever system, but decades later, it's one of the most challenging parts of restoring an original Charger, as leaks and worn components can cause slow or uneven operation. Inside, the Charger was completely different from most American cars of the era. Instead of a traditional bench seat in the back, the Charger featured 4 individual bucket seats, front and rear, separated by a full-length center console that ran from the dashboard all the way to the rear seats. That console wasn't just stylish. It helped stiffen the body and reduce flex in the long fastback design. Very few American cars in 1966 offered 4 true bucket seats, making the Charger feel more like a cockpit than a typical muscle car. Under the hood, buyers had choices. You could start with a 318 cubic inch V8, step up to a 361 or 383, or go all the way to the legendary 426 HEMI. Only a small number of 1966 Chargers were built with the HEMI, and those cars didn't shout about it. No wild stripes, no aggressive badging. They were sleepers, and today they're among the most valuable Chargers ever built. When the 1966 Dodge Charger was new, the base MSRP was around $3,100, depending on engine and options. That positioned it above many standard muscle cars, reinforcing Dodge's vision of the Charger as a premium performance coupe, not just a budget hot rod. While the 1966 Charger didn't dominate NASCAR, it quietly laid the groundwork for Dodge's future success. The fastback shape helped engineers study airflow and high-speed stability, lessons that directly influenced the legendary 1968 to 1970 Chargers that followed. In many ways, the 1966 Charger was Dodge's rolling test lab. Here's one of the most important facts about this car. The 1966 Dodge Charger was a one-year-only design. Dodge knew the car wasn't perfect. Rear seat headroom was limited. Visibility wasn't great. The trunk opening was small. Rather than refining it, Dodge chose to completely redesign the Charger for 1968, creating the shape most people recognize today. That makes the 1966 Charger a standalone moment in automotive history. Only about 37,000 Chargers were produced in 1966. That's not extremely rare on paper, but when you factor in accidents, rust, and neglect, over nearly 6 decades, the number of surviving cars drops dramatically. That scarcity is one of the reasons collectors pay close attention to this year. Fast forward to today, and the market tells a very different story. I'm going to show you what I came up with on Bring a Trailer as far as some values and some vehicles and some pictures of the real cars inside and out, and we'll check that out here in just a minute. This car, I had a friend of mine who, his dad had one. I can't remember if he bought it originally new or not, but I never knew. I mean, I've been a car guy my whole life. I never knew this car was a Dodge Charger. And I remember when my friend showed me his dad's car that he had inherited in his garage. Oops. And he had showed me this car, or the real car, and I had no clue that was a Charger. I mean, I've been a car guy forever, and I just did not know that was a Charger. So that was a real surprising thing for me when I saw this car in that interesting, unique shape compared to the Chargers I was familiar with, like the late 60s or 70s, early 70s. That's the one I knew was a Charger. So anyway, I'll show you what I came up with here on Bring a Trailer and show you some good pictures here. All right, here we've got a 66 Charger with a 383. This one sold for $70,000 back in September. And this one was in Florida, 54,000 miles on it. Boy, that roof line is pretty amazing. It's a very unique look. I kind of used to think these cars were kind of ugly, but now I think they're pretty cool. They've kind of grown on me over time. There's under the hood. This one's an automatic, as you can see there. Here's another one. This is a 426 HEMI. This one didn't sell. It must not have reached its reserve. This was back in August, and it bid up to $85,000. Pretty cool looking, though. This one was in San Diego, 53,000 miles, 426 HEMI, 4-speed. There's some couple interior pictures of that car. You can see the stick shift there and under the hood. There is the window sticker that shows, with all the factory options, a total price of $4,470.10, which that's amazing when you think about what these kind of cars are worth today. Here's another one. This is a 426 HEMI. This one also did not sell. It bid up to $57,000. This one was back in March. Cool color though. I love the way they spelled out Charger on the back of it. Kind of stretched it out like that. This one has 63,000 miles, was in Colorado. Here's some pictures of the interior. You can see that console running the whole length of the vehicle there. Under the hood, kind of that back angle view, that big sloping roof line. Wow, look at that Charger. That's kind of an interesting view of the back end of it. There you can kind of see all the windows down there. That's pretty cool how it all opens up like that. There's the back seats, the bucket seats. Those are really cool looking, especially on an older car. I mean, that is a pretty neat feature, I think. And it looks like it's pretty easy to get into the back seat from when you open the door up there. It looks like it's not too far to climb in there. There's the seats folded down in the back, and there's what it looks like with the headlights exposed when the headlights are flipped around. Oop. So anyway, those are some good pictures off of Bring a Trailer. I think this car is just amazing. And this casting that Matchbox did of this vehicle, you can even see on the back here, they did as it won't even stay on the turntable at the moment. They did an amazing job. They've got the Charger writing on the back there. You can even kind of see, look inside there, you can kind of see the interior, the 4 bucket seats in there. But yeah, Matchbox did just a great job. I am so amazed that you can buy these cars for $1 or $1.25. I mean, the paint quality, the design quality, to be able to buy something that you can keep forever if you want for $1.25 like this, I love it. I love bringing these cars home and digging into them a little bit and learning more information about them. The 1966 Dodge Charger wasn't trying to be legendary. It was simply trying to be different. And sometimes that's exactly how legends are born, because cars like this are meant to be seen.